Tonight inside the John Book Fieldhouse on the Concordia University of Wisconsin campus in Mequon. It's Division III Women's College Basketball, an early season first place battle. Still 8 conference games remaining, but these are 2 out of the 3 teams tied atop the NAC North Division standings as the Concordia University of Wisconsin Falcons entertain the Edgewood College Eagles. And a very pleasant good evening on the Concordia Sports Network alongside Nate Kerner. My name is Matt Menzel. As mentioned, 3 teams right now tied atop the conference standings. You have the Falcons and the Eagles among the 3, both coming in 8 victories and a couple of defeats in conference play. Both are playing some great basketball right now.
That's very true, Matt. Both these teams coming in here with winning streaks. Edgewood coming off of a 5-game winning streak. Falcons coming off of a 4-game winning streak. They're a competitor in the 3-way tie for first place. Alverno also has a 5-game winning streak. Someone's winning streak is coming to an end here tonight.
The Alverno College Inferno able to extend their winning streak to 5 games last night with a victory over Lakeland 48-42. You mentioned the 5-game winning streak for Edgewood College. It's their longest winning streak since the 2008-2009 campaign. They extended that winning streak on Saturday with a win in Lisle, Illinois over Benedictine, 63-46. As for the Falcons, they extended their 4-game winning streak with their victory on Saturday down in the land of Lincoln against Aurora, 81-61. One of the key stats, though, in this matchup as this game progresses could be the battle of the boards. You have Edgewood, who's done a fairly nice job when it comes to rebounding. Right now, they find themselves 4th, averaging just below 40 rebounds a game. Then you have the Falcons. They're getting better at rebounding, but from a size standpoint, rebounding has been an issue.
Rebounding has been an issue for the Falcons, Matt, mostly because the Falcons, for Division III basketball, do not have a lot of size. Katie Luthi, the tallest starter with that 5'9". Megan Kuna coming off the bench caps out the Falcons at 5'10". They're facing a team, Edgewood, who has 4 players 5'10 or 5'11".
So again, rebounding will be a key stat. Last time these teams hooked up at the Edge Dome in Madison back on December 4th, Falcons held the advantage in the rebounding category at 44-40, although second chance scoring not enormous in the whole scheme of things. Falcons were +4 in that category at 9-5. As far as key players go in this matchup, certainly for the Falcons, the top 2 scorers, you have the play of Katie Luthi averaging below 13 points a game, and you have Camille Parsons, who is coming off a 17-point showing on Saturday.
Yes, Camille Parsons and Katie Luthi, both juniors, they have them for 1 more year, have been the linchpins of the Falcons scoring attack here. Camille Parsons showing some major improvement in her 3-point shooting, definitely helping the Falcons push them over their opponents.
We could see some history by Knight's End. Tiffany Hendrickson nearing an accomplishment.
That's true. Tiffany Hendrickson could become the 14th women Falcon to reach 1,000 points in her Falcons career. She has a senior. She has a 10-point average over her career per game.
As she will appear in her 98th game here tonight, she is 12 points away. That from the milestone. As for Edgewood College, again this season being led by Allison Tobin. Tobin comes in average just below 12 points a ball game, just over 7 rebounds a game. Last year she was number 1 of the team in both scoring and rebounding. Also, great play from the reigning NAC all-freshman team selection, Maria Hill, the sophomore from Franklin. She comes in averaging just below 9 points a ball game, but has found herself in double figures on 6 occasions, including 4 consecutive games that were played between December the 29th and that of January 8th. She had 24 points in the game against UW-Stevens Point back on December 29th. That was a streak, though, that would come to a close with a 6-point showing on Saturday in the 63-46 victory against Benedictine. But as mentioned, with Alverno taking care of business last night, it comes down to these two to try to create some separation with still 7 more conference games left for these 2 teams following games play. But this is the final meeting between these 2 teams in this 2012-13 regular season. At this time, we will step aside our national anthem and then our starting lineups and the opening tip. It's the Falcons and the Edgewood College Eagles here on the Concordia Sports Network. Our national anthem to honor America as we get set for the Concordia University Wisconsin Falcons and the Edgewood College Eagles. These two teams meeting yet again for what is going to be the 66th time all-time. The Falcons lead the all-time series history with 36 victories to 29 defeats. They've won 4 consecutive and 15 of the last 18 get-togethers, which includes the victory back on December 4th in Madison by the final score of 61-48. Falcons are up 36-21 by the intermission before being outscored by 2 in the final 20 minutes of play. Checking out the starting lineups for these two teams here tonight for the Edgewood College Eagles. It's Rachel Pope, Chelsea Watkins. She comes in averaging right around 5 to 6 points per ball game. Melanie Walker, once upon a time was at UW-Platteville, but now in her senior campaign with Edgewood. Also, Allison Tobin, we told you what she's been able to do this season, coming off a 12-point showing in the victory at Benedictine on Saturday. And Maria Hill will get the nod, the 5'7" sophomore out of Franklin. Last year was second on the team in scoring, also averaged just below 2 assists per ball game. As for the Falcons, Brittany Zietlow will get the nod in the backcourt, the senior out of Oak Creek. Anna Butler, a junior out of Kewaskum, scored a season-high 11 points in the victory against Aurora on Saturday, her first double-figure scoring performance of the season. Camille Parsons coming off an outstanding showing in which she got to the free throw line 9 times, made 7 in a 17-point showing at Aurora. We mentioned Tiffany Hendrickson is 12 points away from the milestone of 1,000. This is her 98th career game. And then Katie Luthi, who is tops on the team, averaging just below 13 points a ball game, just below 6 rebounds a game. She scored 14 points the last time these teams hooked up in Madison. As mentioned, that was a 13-point victory for the Falcons. And one of the key numbers that jumps out, even in the victory, the Falcons turned the ball over 23 times while forcing 18. And the points off the turnovers, 16-10 Edgewood plus in that category. They'd like to thank you for your head coach, Stacey Brunner-Jones. Their team has matured a lot since December 4th, but you can't afford, I don't care where these teams are from there to now, you can't win or can't afford to cough the ball 23 times, not with the speed that Edgewood possesses.
That's very true, Matt. If Concordia does have one small downfall as a team, is they have a tendency to have a reckless streak in the middle of an otherwise close game. They need to protect the ball, particularly against a team with Edgewood who has both height advantage and a definite speed advantage.
When you look at the numbers, Falcons only turn the ball over on average about 13 times a game. That's number 1 in the conference. But again, on December 4th, miscues aplenty, but in the whole scheme of things, not a big factor in the outcome with the Falcons hanging on for the double-digit victory. Well, the officials, Ron Quirk and Marty Fox, we know for sure. The third official, unknown to us. It is a late substitution with Tim Owen's wife now in labor, so he has been taken off the game at the last minute, and we're underway here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. Falcons come in with 10 victories and 5 defeats. They've won 4 straight, find themselves 2-2 here inside the John Book Fieldhouse as Brittany Zietlow on the miss, and then gets tied up by Hill. Arrow points Edgewood's direction.
You have to give Brittany Zietlow credit there, attacking the basket right away. At 5'4", she's not afraid of this very large Edgewood front line.
All 7 of her points against Edgewood back in December came from the free throw line, otherwise 0 for 2 from the field in her 32 minutes of action. First possession for the Eagles. They come in averaging just over 60 points a ball game, 4th best in the league. As Walker able to finish over Camille Parsons, Edgewood able to strike first.
Excellent spin news by Melanie Walker there. She had a defender, but that was a brilliant block move right there in the post.
One of her 4 double-figure scoring performances came against the Falcons in December, finishing with 11 points, 3 for 15 shooting, but 7 rebounds, a couple of assists in 29 minutes. Shot clock inside at 10. Anna Butler on the miss, and the rebound was brought in by Tobin. Back the other way come the Eagles. They lead 2-0. 18:48 left here in the first half. Looking inside is Hill. Instead feeds it back up top. On the move by Walker. A little up and under off glass, and she scores the first 4 Edgewood points.
Allison Tobin, we talked a lot about here, but there's anybody who can play up with her. It's Melanie Walker.
And Walker with the first 2 field goal makes a 4-0 Edgewood lead. And talking about turnovers, arrow pointing, and will stay on this Falcon end with 18:26 left till halftime.
Falcons should really here take their time here and chew up some clock here, Matt. Look for the smart shot, not just take the shots because they're there.
Got a hand on the basketball first, and right now shot clock at 21. Zietlow over to Hendrickson. Her jumper, and she's within 10 points of 1,000.
Tiffany Hendrickson has not been as big of a force this year, Matt, due to injury, but you have to admit, every night she plays just as hard as she did when she first started.
Has scored in double figures 4 times this season, but coming off a 4-point showing on Saturday. And you talk about the injuries. Still getting about 19, 20 minutes of ball game, but on occasion it's been limited because of some nagging injuries up in the past that have come back to haunt her here in this, what is now her senior season. Off the drive, a foul against Concordia, their first.
It's like Brittany Zietlow on a hand check at the baseline drive.
And so the inbound coming up from the baseline for Watkins. Looking back inside, trying to post up his Walker on Parsons. Ball knocked away, and Zietlow comes away with the steal. She had 3 steals on Saturday. That tying her season high, now accomplished on 3 occasions. Following the miss, the outlet feed. And now Pope launching it across court. Offense setting up for Edgewood. A 4-2 lead for the Eagles. 17:28 to go in the first half, and a tie up again. 3rd jump ball already. 2 minutes and 34 seconds on in. 3rd jump ball arrow with Edgewood.
It's a very physical game so far. Looks like the refs are going to let them play tonight, Matt.
Yeah, thus far it's 1 foul in the game. That against Brittany Zietlow of the Falcons. Inbound here for Watkins. On the catch, the shoot. Pope, 2 strong rebound for Zietlow. On the Falcon push, they have a 3-on-2, but look out from behind. Deflected and taken away by Pope after the speed from Watkins nearly helped deflect the ball out of the possession of Zietlow. And now on the drive with Watkins cutting the paint was Tobin. She gets the feed against Luthi on the spin, able to score with the left hand.
Edgewood playing big on the blocks there, Matt. All their points are coming from that interior of the paint. We talk about the size battle, and so far, Edgewood's got the advantage.
Edgewood had the advantage in points off turnovers. They were minus 8 in points in the paint the last time these teams soaked up. A couple of the categories certainly going to keep an eye on as this game progresses. As a foul goes against Rachel Pope, her first and the first Edgewood team foul. We have 16:46 left here in the first half, a 6-2 Edgewood advantage. And for the Eagles, they will bring in Jenna Kunin, a sophomore from Franklin. Among the changes for head coach Casey Placzynski. Now in her 4th season, Placzynski with 47 victories and 47 defeats, just recently married, formerly known as Casey Thousand. On the drive with Luthi. Contact as her shot comes up just short on the bump. Going to be team foul 2 against Edgewood, both on this Falcon possession.
Every foul so far has happened on the floor today, Matt.
What's going to be the first against Tobin. Trying to post up is Luthi. Zietlow getting the feed. Megan Kunin now into the game for the Falcons. She gets open, sliding over defensively, but late was Hill, and Kunin able to score for the Falcons.
Megan Kunin, one of 3 freshmen, showing a lot of promise this season, Matt. She has 1 double-figure game already, and she is an opposing presence on the post block.
Now, Kunin able to come through. She had the 11 points. Saturday, that being her 2nd consecutive, because she also had 10 points against Marion back on January 10th up in Fond du Lac. A 3-ball, why not? Around the rim and out for Tobin. She comes in shooting just below 27% from downtown, but had the spacing there. Daring the defense to jump out on her. Did not. But the 3 rim and out, and back to the way come the Falcons. Zietlow on the drive, draws the foul. 6-4, Edgewood +2 with 15:52 to go here in the first half.
Zietlow's been trying to draw that foul going to the basket here since the game began, Matt. She finally got her call.
It's going to be the first personal foul against Allison Novitsky. Team foul 3. And the first free throw good for Brittany Zietlow. She is 7th in the conference, 78% from the charity stripe. A couple of more changes for Edgewood. They tend to go easily 10 deep. Danielle Dixon and Brooke McBain each subbed into the Edgewood lineup. And the second free throw good for Z. She makes a couple of free throws to tie the game up at 6. Last 4 points belong to the Falcons with 15:45 on the first half game clock. Novitsky into the hands of Dixon. Dixon back Played for Edgewood from 2009 through 2011, but took last season off as a foul drawn by Jenna Kunin. Free throws here off the second Falcon team foul. The foul against Allison Palukniak. Just something to the Concordia 5. Kunin able to splash in the first free throw, a 50% free throw shooter on the year, just 3 for 6.
Jenna Kunin, one of the younger members of this Edgewood team here, also showing a little bit of promise and making a difference here in their lineup. They're really going.
And again, coming into the season, a squad that had 8 newcomers coming in, 7 freshmen, a couple of sophomores. You have 3 juniors and 3 seniors on a roster that has added some depth. They currently have 15 on their active roster from that of here this season, from that of a year ago when the team failed to qualify for the postseason for the first time in program history. The 15-footer falling for Anna Butler.
Falcons did exactly what they needed to do there, Matt. They looked around for the smart shot and moved the ball really smartly.
Game tied at 8 on the putback. Going to be waved off. A traveling violation whistled against McBain. For Edgewood, they will bring Emily Anderson into the lineup. And now Rachel Pope back out there. Camille Parsons back into the Falcon lineup with 15:02 on the first half clock. Game tied at 8 points apiece. Bringing the ball up is Palukniak. Had the ball taken right out of her possession by Rachel Pope. And then Pope denied by Palukniak. Out of bounds, last touch by Pope, Falcon possession. How about that? Palukniak was pickpocketed, but gets back defensively and contests the attempt by Pope. Ball to the Falcons.
If you're going to say face the game of basketball, Matt, that is the way to do it.
Tied at 8 with 14:45 to go first half. Butler, that against Anderson. Ball moved to Parsons. Shot coming up short. The box out, though, by Pope. Good-looking box out by the freshman from Dodgeville. Former Dodgeville Dodger.
I believe she's the highest scoring player in Dodgeville history there, man.
Yeah, left the school as their all-time leading scorer, 4-time all-conference selection. Camille Parsons trying to tiptoe the baseline against the triple team. Palukniak, open 3-ball. Count it. Allison Palukniak shooting 33% from downtown. Has given the Falcons an 11-8 lead. Nearly 6 minutes gone by first half.
Allison Palukniak, another one of the freshmen stepping up here for Concordia. She's a very, very, very excellent guard.
Way off the mark, the shot by Jenna Kunin. She too came in shooting 33% from beyond the arc. And you know, you and I talked off air about potential 3-point shooting. Now coming in, okay, both teams have struggled from downtown percentage-wise. Both teams, though, defensively have defended the 3 awfully well. You have Edgewood, who comes in number 1 in allowing about 25% of the 3-pointers their opponents take to be made. For the Falcons, they're second in the opposing 3-point percentage.
Both these teams are very guard-heavy, like to guard the perimeter shooting. Both teams don't like to take the shot themselves when they have it.
Hendrickson taking the 15-footer off the back iron, brings down her own miss. Goes back up again, rims out. A couple of good looks by Tiffany Hendrickson, just could not keep that ball down.
You have to admire her hustle on that play there, Matt. She got bumped there a little bit, but she stayed with it.
Falcons lead 11-8. 13:20 to go first half. On the drive by Walker. Team foul 3 coming up against the Falcons. This against Camille Parsons.
Parsons doing a good defensive job there. Got a little overzealous and went for the ball when she could have just went straight up there. That was a good aggressivity. It was a foul that didn't really need to happen.
Seems like that's been a tough assignment early on for Parsons, the ability of Walker to get to the bucket. Already has scored 4 points now at the free throw line, where she's able to drain the first. 75% at the free throw line at 24 of 32. Last year she was second on the team, shooting about 74% from the charity stripe. And Walker knocks them both down. You know, Edgewood collectively, they may be 9th in the conference at free throw shooting, but this is a team that has the ability on a fairly regular basis to get to the free throw line to attempt about 20 a game. 11-10, make that 13-10. The Falcons up by 3 off the finish by Kunin. 13:05 to go first half.
Kunin, being the freshman, is now the tallest player in the regular rotation, Matt, and she is very imposing. on both ends of the court.
And now Walker has the path to the bucket. Again, gets in front of the defense. Perfect pass. Red carpet treatment, and Walker able to finish.
Edgewood's been running the cut to the basket from the back door. That has paid off for them every single time they've tried it, Matt.
Walker just looks to be a step ahead of the defense as Hendrickson coming up short, and the rebound brought in by Walker. 12:35 left first half. Falcons lead 13-12. Camille Parsons able to steal the pass. Walker stands her ground, able to take it away. And now the floater splashing in for Allison Tobin. Walker stood there, stood her ground, and the dribble right to Walker, knocked it away. That turns into a floater that falls for Tobin, and a timeout taken by Edgewood as the Eagles now lead 14-13 with 12:24 left here in the first half.
Matt, it's a very competitive game so far. With leadership for the North Division on the line, you don't expect anything less at this stage.
No, not at all. 1 point lead back and forth. These two teams have duked it out so far inside the John Book Fieldhouse. And as mentioned, there's still a lot of conference basketball to be played, but this is one step in the right direction for one of these two teams. You mentioned the success the Alverno College and Ferno have had as of late. They've won 5 consecutive games. Both of these teams will still see Alverno at some point down the road, but again, a big one here in the final time these teams will meet, but if history tells us anything, very well, you could be looking at another, at some point, tournament matchup.
It's very true, man. It's been a very topsy-turvy year in the North Division. The division lead has changed almost 4 times in the season alone.
But again, you have those 3 at the top, and then Maranatha, 6 victories and 3 defeats. They've won 2 straight after their 1-point win on Monday against MSOE. That's the next closest in the North Division standings. Here's Luthi. Shot clock at 13. Luthi will fire a long 2-ball.
Katie Luthi will shoot. Not the strongest outside shooter, but when her stroke gets going, she can be deadly, Matt.
Overall, though, she's shooting a respectable about 38% from the field. I'd like to see it a little bit higher, but you'll live with 38% shooting, especially with Luthi, known for her jump shot ability. And another foul here. This will be team foul 4 against the Falcons off the drive by Hill. Part of the NACOL freshman team, as mentioned a year ago, and that's because as a freshman, able to come through and made her presence be felt right behind Tobin in the Edgewood scoring. Foul one against Hendrickson, her first, and the 4th Falcon team foul. Game tied here at 15.
Mentioned before, Matt, that Edgewood has a talent to get to the free throw line, and Concordia has not done themselves any favors by committing 4 fouls before we're halfway through the first half.
Only got to the free throw line 9 times on Saturday. But the last time these teams hooked up, as Hill's able to knock in both, give Edgewood a 16-15 lead with 11:40 to go till halftime. Last time these teams hooked up, able to get to the free throw line 18 times, making 12, but it was the Falcons. Got to the line 22 times, making 13. Traveling violation, another Falcon turnover.
Tiffany Hendrickson got the ball, accidentally switched her pivot foot, and it was a little too late to go back.
Both teams now with 4 turnovers. 11.5 to go in the first half. Edgewood in front by 1, 16-15. And now Watkins on the pass. Here comes Walker again, a little up and under. Nothing there this time. Luthi has switched over defensively right now. Camille Parsons on the Falcon bench. On the drive again, Walker on the kick out. Shot clock inside of 10. Watkins the floater. Knocks it down. Tough running floater for Chelsea Watkins.
Falcons trying to help, man, but they didn't switch there in time, Matt.
Nice ball movement. Zelo on the assist. Coonan the finish. Megan Coonan with 6 points. And quickly back to the way come the Eagles. Shot coming up short for Nowitzki. Rebound for Edgewood. Back up top on the move now with Hill. Throws it off glass. Too strong. Rebound Coonan. 18-17. Edgewood by 1. 10:38 to go here in the first half.
You have to admire the way Megan Coonan has exerted herself in the rotation, Matt. Her and Brittany Zelo, they've been playing together for years. This is their first year together.
Here's Zelo on the pass. Butler, despite the defense, coming up short. Tobin the rebound. Back to the way come the Eagles up by 1 with 10:20 to go in the first half. Hill. Shot clock inside at 20 off the dribble here by Watkins. Here's Walker. Shot clock now south of 10. Nowitzki Down to 5. Shot clock down to 3. A 3-ball wide left for Tobin. And the rebound here for Azilo. 3-point shooting right now. Edgewood 0 for 3. And a Butler. And now Luthi on the turn. That was contested with Nowitzki coming over to help out. Watkins will slow it down with Edgewood in front 18-17. 9:35 till halftime. Watkins lost the handle, able to recover, kicking it right back out to Nowitzki. On the ball fake, the drive all the way to the bucket. Walker blew it. Faked the 3, had the clear path to the bucket, blew the layup. I'm not sure if she was expecting some contact or expecting somebody to slide over, but it never happened. And the ball left her hands and coming up empty. And now here comes Coonan for the Falcons on the kick out to Hendrickson. Pretty good pacing here in this first half. Luthi launches a 3. And the rebound brought in by Coonan, knocked away by Walker and taken by Hill. Watkins on the lead feed. Walker steps back, 3-ball. That splashes in, give the 3-ball to Hill. Hill on the step back 3-point field goal. Edgewood now 1 for 4 from downtown and a full timeout here for the Falcons. So a 3-ball knocked down by Hill, a 26% 3-point shooter, extending the Edgewood lead now to 4, 21-17 with 8:42 left here in the first half.
And so far it's been a battle of all different elements here, Matt. Concordia switching up their lineup a lot here, substituting a lot. Both teams using both their benches to great effect. Edgewood winning the battle on their own end for the post with excellent backdoor cuts and ball movement. But Concordia managing to win the speed battle on their own end, outpassing Edgewood and moving the ball around, trying to get it into their bigs and for an outshot. But they're also shooting pretty well from the perimeter tonight.
Both teams are shooting 41% overall from the field. Both are 7 for 17 from the field. Falcons 1 for 2 from beyond the arc. Edgewood is 1 of 4, but where Edgewood has excelled as well as they've gotten to the free throw line. Of the 4 Falcon fouls, they've made the most with 3 of those in the act of shooting. Right now they're 6 of 6 from the charity stripe. Falcons are 2 for 2. Rebounding also in Edgewood's favor at 4, 12-8, 3-1 on the offensive glass, and then as mentioned, both teams have turned the ball over on 4 separate occasions. Those are some of the key numbers at this moment in the ball game with 8:42 to go in the first half and a 21-17 Edgewood advantage.
Another big key here, Matt, is that both teams so far have 3 steals. Both teams are contesting there. We saw what happened. Allison Plukniak got her pocket picked, and she went right up there and blocked it afterwards. Both teams not afraid to go after the ball.
No doubt about that as Camille Parsons inbounds into the game for the Falcons as Jasmine Williams played 14 minutes, scored a couple of points at Aurora on Saturday. The Falcons were able to jump in front, led throughout by as many as 26, hanging out for a 20-point win after leading by 14 at the intermission. Parsons, shot clock at 7. Luthi on the drive with the left hand, off the lip of the rim, and the rebound brought in by Jenna Coonan.
Katie Luthi not really getting her stroke down. She's attacked the hoop very well. She's not been able to finish here so far tonight, Matt.
So far, Luthi been limited to a couple of points. Edgewood up by 4. Pope going airborne, had it stripped, and then brought in by Luthi. Pressure by Pope, and the feed goes to Anna Butler. Right back to Luthi. It was tipped, but Luthi able to get there, and then contact and a foul as Brooke McBain came out to try to, again, contest that loose ball and perhaps take it away.
Concordia was a little sloppy there, man. They need to work a little harder in this game to guard that basketball while they're on the offensive end.
Boy, look at that pass, for instance. Get a little more zip on it, a little more force, and it was a late little hesitation for Luthi to come over and get to that pass, which enabled McBain to take that step and perhaps take it away, but instead guilty of the foul as Williams' jumper rims out and the rebound brought in by Danielle Dixon. 21-17, Edgewood by 4. And an offensive foul. Pope as down went Williams. Perhaps a little bit of acting, but nonetheless selling her point to Ron Cork, who was on top of the scene. And Pope guilty of what's going to be her second team foul.
It's fitting that Jasmine Williams would come in now at this time, Matt. She's another player who's not afraid to try to pick your pockets there. Maybe a little acting there, but there was some contact because Jasmine Williams is not afraid to reach in for that ball.
She just went straight down without even bending the knees. Williams. Back up top, Luthi. Zietlo's open. The 3-ball. And the rebound on the box out for Edgewood. Another good-looking box out by Dixon. Zigzags around the defense. Dixon will stop, pop off glass, and down. One end to the other, Danielle Dixon.
Concordia could have stood to get down to the other end of the court a little faster there, Matt. They looked a little sluggish there on that fast break.
Dixon able to weave her way around traffic. Now a steal by Walker. With the split a pair and draws team foul 5 against the Falcons. Edgewood in front 23-17 with 7 minutes left here in the first half as Palukniak back in. Out goes Williams. The foul one against Butler, her first.
Edgewood's not the kind of team you want to make small, lazy passes like that, Matt. You want to pass the ball hard, quickly, and efficiently against a team like Edgewood.
And again, from you mentioned, speed standpoint, this team has the ability to quickly get down the court, create those turnovers into transition points, and even when the Falcons have scored, we've seen with that speed, Edgewood quickly trying to respond to the other end. Speed certainly in Edgewood's favor. A 3-ball for Kelsey Collins. 5 of 21 from downtown, part of that shot and make. Collins with the 3-point bucket, and she becomes now the 7th different Eagle to score. Now a traveling violation. Turnover number 6 against the Falcons. Edgewood in front 26-17 with 6:35 to go first half.
The major difference here right now, Matt, is that Edgewood has confidence in its shooting touch right now. Concordia needs to get its confidence up in its shooting, and they need to do it soon.
Luthi contesting Tobin. 2-on-1. Palukniak. She'll take it herself. And the rebound controlled by the Eagles. That by Walker.
Palukniak should not have shied away from that bump. She should have went all the way to that basket.
Right now the Falcons 7 of 21 from the field, 33% shooting. Edgewood 9 of 21, good for 43%. Off the miss by Dixon, Luthi brings in the rebound. Falcons will slow it down to their pacing with 5:50 to go first half, down 26-17. Palukniak. Camille Parsons back into the Falcon 5. Luthi. Shot clock at 12. And it goes to Camille Parsons. Back out to Luthi. 3-ball. Left it short in the rebound. Again brought in by the Eagles. They're doing a great job in the rebounding statistic. Up now 7 at 17-10. That was a concern coming in.
Edgewood here has done everything right on the rebounding end here, but Concordia needs to take better shots to avoid that rebounding battle.
Coming over to help out, Camille Parsons knocked it out of bounds. Knocked Tobin's drive, shot out of bounds as a full line change for Edgewood being made. They bring 5 new faces back onto the floor with 5:16 to go till halftime. Shot clock reads 15.
The intensity that Camille Parsons brought to that block is maybe the shot in here Concordia needs right now here, Matt.
Off the Watkins inbound. See how they respond. Parsons now on the Falcon bench. Coonan lost it, able to recover and a steal. With the shot clock winding down, Butler going 1v1 against Hill, who took it out of her hand but commits the foul. That's going to be her first, and team foul 6.
And see the Falcons proving they can play a fast game too. Excellent awareness by Butler to intercept that pass and take it down to the other end.
Butler a 69% free throw shooter at 9 of 13. And she had tied her season high with 3 steals in the team's last game. Able to come through with another here tonight. The 6th Edgewood turnover. Both teams have 6 turnovers. And Butler goes 1 of 2. Falcons 3 of 4 collectively thus far. 26-18, Edgewood plus 8. 4:50 to go first half. Nearly knocked away from Hill. That's Butler again taking a step in front, trying to create that turnover. Watkins. Shot clock down to 11. Back up top with Hill. Shot clock down to 5. Hill throws it up, off glass and in.
Concordia switching to a help man, Matt, to avoid those Edgewood cuts to the basket, but Edgewood showing they can play the patient game too.
Already 7 points for Hill. Only had 2 points last time these teams soaked up. Struggle from the field at 1 for 6. Had 4 rebounds in 23 minutes. Luthi Shot clock down at 10 with the left hand. Luthi bringing the Falcons back to within 8 at 28-20. 4 minutes left first half. Luthi now with 4 points. Watkins trying to post up inside as Brooke Negus now into the contest. Boy, just put everybody on the roster has played already in this first half for the Eagles. Hill, again the running floater, and the rebound brought in by Luthi. Now looking up and down this roster, all but 3 have played so far among the 15 on their current roster. Zietlow. Now Coonan comes back up top. Luthi gets the pass. Shot clock down to 10. Luthi denied. Coonan on the putback. Shot clock was down to 7 when that second chance developed. And now Watkins with 3:12 to go here in the first half. 28-20. Edgewood plus 8. As Walker going right back to Nowitzki against Palukniak. Jenna Coonan against Megan Coonan in the Coonan battle. We have 2:55 to go first half. That one won by Megan.
Megan Coonan, an excellent defender on the block right against the basket, man. There, she proved it there, standing her ground. Jenna Coonan didn't know what to do with it when she tried to get past.
Luthi going inside to Megan Coonan against the double team, draws the foul. In front of her was Brooke Negus. Off team foul 7, a couple of free throws coming up. Foul goes against Hill. Going to be her second. Coonan, a 74% free throw shooter. Now 18 of 24 on the year, and again Edgewood will bring in a wholesale of changes. Falcons make a couple of changes too, which will include Hendrickson into the contest, along with Williams. Already for Coonan, she has 7 points. Now she has been in double figures 4 times. Her first career double-figure performance was her career-high 14 against Edgewood.
You have to give Megan Coonan credit here. She has shown a lot of maturity as a player on both ends of the court.
But now guilty of the foul there on the drive that was made by Kelsey Collins. And Coach Bernard Jones has talked about that, where, you know, these freshmen are going to be real good. But you got to remember, they're still freshmen, and they still make freshman mistakes.
That's true. They do make a few errors here, but there's something to be said about the enthusiasm of youth, but you got to rein that in occasionally.
And Megan, no doubt, especially the last couple of games, has been the spark off that bench. Spacing, 3-ball, short out of the hands of Collins this time. And then Collins and Megan Coonan get tangled up. Arrow points to Concordia with 2:21 left here in the first half. Edgewood in front, 28-22. They've been up by as many as 9.
The Falcons making a few transitions here, switching things up a little bit with their lineup. You have to give Edgewood credit. They have been substituting very well, trying to keep Concordia off balance.
Williams. That's out of bounds. It's going to be Edgewood ball, and there's one of those. Some miscommunication, almost, for lack of a better way to put it, a lazy pass.
That's right. This is not the kind of team, Edgewood, that you want to make passes like that. Concordia needs to ramp up the intensity and their ball movement here just a little bit.
Trying to pass over the top, but instead turn the ball over for a 7th time. The jumper rims out for Dixon. Rebound, Palukniak. Inside of 2 minutes left here in the first half. 6-point Edgewood lead at 28-22.
Concordia has held Edgewood at only 2 points since they switched the help man-to-man defense, Matt.
Coonan splits a double team, cannot finish. Boy, she did the hard work. Just a matter of finishing after she was able to get through the double team. Unable to finish, and now with Melanie Walker feeding the ball over, and now Collins back up top to Dixon. Her long 2 is good. 4 points for Danielle Dixon. 30-22 Edgewood with 1:15 to go first half. Hendrickson took her eye off the ball for a minute, off her hand, out of bounds, off the Williams high pass. And again, Edgewood will bring 5 fresh bodies onto the court. Brittany Zietlow will come on for the Falcons. I almost feel like we're watching, maybe not to the extent from a scoring standpoint, but Grinnell men's basketball where you got the wholesale of changes, but then you also have that up-tempo. And we've seen that from Edgewood, a speedy bunch, but also making 5 changes at a time, especially over the last, give or take, 10 minutes of this ball game.
That's right, Matt. And it's paying off for them because it's helping Concordia. Concordia's having trouble keeping their game consistent as Edgewood keeps changing it up on them.
But they've gone 12 deep already in this ball game. As team foul 8 whistled against Edgewood already. Mariah Hill picking up number 3. So Parsons to the line. At 65% from the charity stripe, Camille Parsons has her first point of the ball game. Butler back into the Concordia lineup. And Novitsky out there for Edgewood. And Parsons able to knock in both. She comes in second of the team, averaging just above 10 points per ball game. 30-20 for Edgewood plus 6. 55 seconds to go till halftime. And now Anderson. Novitsky on the drive. Shot coming up short for Watkins, but the rebound tapped out to Anderson. Shot clock reset for Edgewood, about a give or take 9-second differential game clock, shot clock. Trying to post up inside Watkins. Want to create that spacing against Butler. Shot clock down to 10. Anderson denied by Palukniak. Back to the way come the Falcons inside of 10 seconds till halftime. Down by as many as 9 here in this first half. Parsons with 4, throws it high off the glass. No, but a foul is drawn with 3.5 seconds till halftime. Team foul 9 against the Eagles.
You have to love the way the Falcons played a perfect help man defense right there, man. They were doing what they should have been doing early in the half, pushing Edgewood outside and then tightening up in the lane so that Edgewood cannot get those easy cuts.
Jenna Coonan picking up her first. 3 points off from the free throw line over the last minute for Camille Parsons. Knocks both in. Still time for Edgewood, up 4, but they will let the clock hit 0. Not taking any risks, no real gambles there as the first half comes to a close. The Falcons down by as many as 9 find themselves down 30-26 at the intermission. And right now, Megan Coonan, she's come off the bench, provided a spark with 8 points to lead the way for Concordia. Plus you have Camille Parsons knocking in those 4 free throws in the last minute or so to make this a closer ball game.
That's true, man. This is one of those games where you get an advantage here, but it's not going to last very long here. 9 points is not a lot in college basketball. That can disappear in an instant, and the Falcons proved it by tightening up their defense, attacking the rim a little more consistently. As you mentioned, Camille Parsons got to the line, and she needs to get to the line a little bit more if the Falcons really want to switch this game around.
When you factor, though, the Falcons were shooting well below 30% from the field. 9 points seems like a ton, especially when you factor they only have 26 points here at the break. But, again, able to chip away and realizing there's no such thing as 9-point basket. Just keep chipping away, and that's what they've done. And also forcing the 6 turnovers. They've upped their field goal percentage to 31%. Edgewood's been shooting about 35%. One area, though, that needs to improve, and it may not be a night and day differential, but just a little bit of a difference, is the rebounding statistic, more so on the offensive glass. Already, the Falcons have allowed 5 offensive boards to the Eagles. Overall, total rebounds 21-17. Edgewood is plus 4. That needs to change. Again, I'm not expecting a night and day differential, perhaps not even a Falcon advantage in that category, but again, you got to close that gap, and they kind of did that toward the end of the first half.
That's very true, man. As we mentioned before, they do not quite have the size that Edgewood does. Edgewood has 4 players at 5'10" or higher. The Falcons have proven that they can rebound with the big ones if they have to, but what they have to do is they really have to keep their defense and their bigs tightened to the lane and not let the Edgewood players sneak in there on the box out.
Again, if you're just joining us, the importance of this game. You have 3 teams currently tied for first atop the Northern Athletics Conference North Division standings. You have the Falcons, Edgewood, and Alverno College Inferno. All 3 8 victories and a couple of defeats. how good has the North Division been so far this season? We mentioned the game of musical chairs, but also when you look at winning streaks right now, it seems like the North, you have obviously Edgewood, Alverno each with 5-game winning streaks, and again for Edgewood, their longest winning streaks of the 2008-2009 campaign when they won 9 straight before a tournament loss to the Falcons that year. You have Concordia having won 4 consecutive. I mean, top to bottom in the North, I should say at least top to near the bottom. I mean, this is a division that's awfully tough, and you got teams like Maranatha that have exceeded expectations already. Alverno certainly has. One team that has struggled a little bit because of injury, Lakeland College, but you can't forget about the Muskies. Certainly got Marion in the picture, and then MSOE still looking for that first win.
It's very true, Matt. And as I said, it has been kind of a game of musical chairs here. Concordia was picked to be first. Got upset there by Maranatha and Alverno, who everyone chose to finish last. Now Alverno is on top, and Concordia is back on top, and Edgewood is threatening. It is a night and day difference to what we expected at the beginning of the season.
Right now, Maranatha, they've won 2 straight. Lakeland's lost 3 straight. Marion's lost 3 straight, and as mentioned, MSOE 0-14. Dominican over in the south is 0-16. Those are scary matchups, though, regardless, because what do they have to lose? They've already lost every game they've played. Those are scary matchups because you're going to get their best, or at least, again, they got that mindset. What do we got to lose? They don't play each other, by the way, until February 2nd, so somebody will get that first win. That will be played at the Kern Center in Milwaukee, but that's the way things play out in the North and bottom of the South. But then you have Wisconsin Lutheran, who is atop the South Division standings. They find themselves on a 4-game winning streak. They've gone 9-1 over the last 10. They're next on the Edgewood docket. But you have Benedictine, you have Concordia Chicago, Aurora, and Rockford each tied for 4th, and then the aforementioned Dominican. But again, right now the North, that's where it's at.
Definitely, Matt, here. It's a very tight, very competitive division. It's been fun to watch so far, but as you mentioned, all these teams have 7-8 more games to play before the season's over, so we have no idea what it's going to turn out to be.
As of this week in the Northern Athletics Conference, on Monday, Maranatha beat MSOE 51-50, and on Tuesday, Alverno able to keep pace with the Falcons and the Eagles with their 48-42 victory over Lakeland College. Elsewhere tonight, Dominican is at Wisconsin Lutheran. Concordia Chicago is at Rockford. You have Benedictine, they're in action at Aurora, and then Marion is at the Kern Center taking on MSOE. That's the docket around the Northern Athletics Conference besides this one here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. And right now at the break, it is a 30-26 4-point advantage. That for the visiting Edgewood College Eagles up by as many as 10 points in the half. At one point leading by 9, up by as many as 10 overall. Falcons up by as many as 3. Again, it's featured 3 ties and 4 lead changes. And as for the rest of the halftime statistics.
And halftime statistics, Falcons here, 9-10 from the free throw line. That's a key statistic. Free throws might just actually keep them in here. Edgewood 6 for 6. Getting to the free throw line is going to be crucial down the stretch here, Matt, as both these teams, not the strongest free throw shooting teams, but when you're hot, and that's going to make a big difference here. Coming up here, 11 for 31 total shooting for Edgewood, 8-26. Concordia needs to shoot with a little more confidence here. Down the stretch, Edgewood had a little more confidence in their shot, and they made it count. Concordia, you mentioned freshman mistakes. Megan Coonan and Katie Luthi both actually just demonstrated this, where they would break through, get to the hoop, but they just would not go strong enough to finish on the layups. When you're breaking through Edgewood's bigs, you got to finish on those layups because those are an easy 2 points that you have to make.
But the Falcons able to get to the free throw line down the stretch and chip away at that double-digit deficit.
That's right. Megan Coonan, Camille Parsons getting to that free throw line here. Concordia has proved to be a team that when they get to the free throw line and when they're hot, as I said before, they are hot. Their shooting from the floor has not been going as well as it should be going, but they have been getting to the line, and that can mean a lot here because both these teams very physical. There's going to be fouls in that lane on both ends. Concordia's best bet is to keep hammering it in there and go a little stronger to the hoop and try to get to that free throw line as much as possible. You mentioned before, Edgewood winning the rebound battle, 21-17. Both teams about even on the defensive end, but Edgewood gotten 5-second opportunities off the offensive boards. That is not that this doesn't seem like a big advantage, but 5 second opportunities can add up to 10 points here. And Concordia, as we mentioned, with the size advantage, needs to box out a little bit more and work on their help man-to-man, forcing Edgewood outside as much as possible.
Luckily, at least according to the stat sheet that we've been handed, 0 second chance points. So despite the advantage, there have been 0 second chance points in this ball game, either side.
Well, it is true, Matt, but still, giving the opposing team, especially with a team in the lead, another fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock to chew up when you're already trailing by 9 points, that adds up over time. And Edgewood right now is in this game and is led in this game because they've been playing their game almost to the limit here. Concordia not quite confident in their shooting touch. They're getting to the basket. They're just not finishing on those close shots. The free throw line so far is what's working for them, and what's working for them is they're able to match Edgewood's speed. Now they need to match Edgewood's toughness inside to help win the rebound battle and help deny Edgewood as much second opportunities as possible. Another big statistic is steals are matched 4 for 4, as we said, matching on speed. Both teams going after the basketball. But Concordia needs to protect the basketball a little bit more. They're making some reckless passes they don't need to make. They're passing a little soft at times. They need to protect the ball because Edgewood is not the kind of team that will let you make that easy pass to the corner. They will deny everything if you don't pass it in there hard enough.
How about the individual numbers?
Individual numbers? I talk a lot about Megan Coonan because she impresses me a lot as a freshman. She has 8 points coming up. 8 points here. She has scored double figures 4 times as a freshman. Her one freshman mistake is that she does get bumped. She spends all her energy getting to the rim, and sometimes she comes up a little short. But she's actually second in the conference coming into this game in field goal percentage. This is a young lady who knows, as a freshman, knows how to get inside, get the points. She makes a very good tandem with Brittany Zietlow. With the ball movement between them is very, very natural. And she's leading the Falcons going into that locker room. Another key statistic, though, is that Camille Parsons and Katie Luthi have 4 points right now. Katie Luthi and Camille Parsons are the 2 leading scorers of the Falcons. They need to crank it up just a little bit more in the second half and finish on those easy baskets. And Camille Parsons, of course, just needs to get to that free throw line and do the same thing she's been doing so far.
Falcons have gone 8 deep through one half of play. Everybody's played at least 3 minutes, although 7 of the 8 have played at least 10 plus. And again, Megan Coonan, 8 points, 5 rebounds. That followed up by 4 points. Camille Parsons off on the free throw line in the final couple of minutes. 4 points, 4 rebounds for Katie Luthi. 3 points put in by Allison Palukniak. 3 points for Anna Butler. 2 points for Tiffany Hendricks, and that came on the very first shot she took. The other 3 that did not drop, all good looks, but did not fall. Also, Brittany Zietlow had a couple of points, that from the free throw line with the 4 of the team's 5 assists. And then Jasmine Williams played 3 minutes but did not score, 0 of 1 from the field. Edgewood went 12 deep. Everybody played at least 4 minutes of that first half. All 12 played at least 4 minutes apiece. And the Eagles led by 8 points for Melanie Walker, 3 for 4 shooting, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. She brought down 3 rebounds and a couple of steals. 7 points, Mariah Hill, but her big issue right now, she has as many fouls as she has rebounds. 3 rebounds, 3 fouls for Hill in 11 minutes of play. That could be a blow, although we'll wait and see how, again, the Eagles decide to dictate that here in the second half with the added depth that this team now has. Where, say, a year ago, that's a bigger blow. Right now, it's still a blow, but with 4 points, Danielle Dixon, she has 2 rebounds coming off the bench in 7 minutes. 4 points, 4 rebounds. Allison Tobin has somewhat been kept in check at 2 for 6 from the field, 0 for 2 from beyond the arc. 3 points for Kelsey Count. She came right in, knocked down a 3-pointer. 2 points for Jenna Coonan, and 2 points as well added by Chelsea Watkins, who brought down a couple of rebounds. Rachel Pope, Emily Anderson, Brooke Negus, Allison Novitsky, and Brooke McBain all played. Negus and company all played, but did not score in the first half of play. But again, those are the numbers, and we saw at the end, Edgewood electing to go with 5 changes at a time, and so they kept fresh legs out there, and again, trying to maintain an offset with the Falcons with throwing their direction.
Very true, man. And also you have to note that they've played 12 players. 7 of them have gotten on the board here. That's a key statistic because you're going to play that many players. They don't all have to score. but enough of them have to score. The rest of them just need to contribute on the defensive end and on the rebounding. And we have talked a lot about Allison Tobin. She's been relatively quiet, but she's contributed on the rebounding end. Melanie Walker proving that Edgewood doesn't have just one scorer. They have players who can get to the basket and make things happen.
Let's talk about the road ahead while we have a moment with the Falcons down 30-26 at the intermission. This is an important stretch for Concordia. You factor, team hasn't played great basketball here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. They have 2 victories and 2 defeats inside their home venue. But this begins a stretch, first of 3 consecutive home games. 6 of the next 10. 6 of the final 10 regular season games will also be right here in Mequon. Awfully important to protect the home court if you have hopes of winning a championship. You have to win at home. You can't afford to continue to rely on success away, although the team is 8-2 on the road, which is an oddity.
Very true, Matt, but then again, playing in the R. John Book Fieldhouse might be the motivation that the Falcons need. Protect their own house down the stretch, give them a little added shot of motivation going into the final month of competition to have them hammer it out there in the standings. This is a team that had a few problems going into the season in terms of personnel, figuring out how everything worked. They found their footing. They have competition, yes, but playing at home can be a huge motivator in the final stretch of the season.
Homestand continues on Saturday against Dominican. That will be a 2 o'clock tip-off. Also coming up next week, Tuesday, MSOE comes a call in. So you have back-to-back winless teams coming here. Those could be trap games. You got to watch it. You better bring it. You can't say, oh, they're 0 and whatever, and expect automatically to win. Dominican and then MSOE on Tuesday, 7 o'clock tip before the Concordia Invitational Tournament from Seward, Nebraska. Ann Arbor will be first up, and then to be announced, TBD, to be determined, coming up on the 26th of January, either Concordia, Nebraska, or perhaps Concordia, Chicago, and what would go down as a non-conference matchup if they were to meet, which they did in River Forest back on December 1st. Falcons won that game 66-59. Quickly, Nate, your keys here in the second half.
The big key here for the Falcons coming into this game are going to be keep playing the help man and control the lane on both ends. Edgewood, the first half, managed to hammer it inside there and attack the rim with deadly efficiency. Falcons managed to slow them down and catch back up when they reasserted dominance over here. A big stat here we didn't mention, the Falcons have 4 blocks. When the Falcons play tight inside and manage to force Edgewood outside, that forces Edgewood to try perimeter shooting. They can hit the perimeter shooting, but it's not their strong suit. Keeping Edgewood out of the lane and controlling the lane on both ends is going to be a key here for the Falcons.
Lukniak with 2 of those 4 blocks, and then Parsons and Butler with 1 block apiece. Falcons will come out with Tiffany Hendrickson, Brittany Zietlow, Anna Butler, Katie Luthi, and Camille Parsons. Edgewood will counter. Maria Hill out there with the 3 personal fouls. Rachel Pope, Melanie Walker, Chelsea Watkins, and Allison Tobin. First possession to the Eagles, and the inbound here for Hill. On the inbound, pressure from Butler, and it goes to Rachel Pope. Trying to get open is Hill. Hendrickson on the matchup of Pope. Pope on the drive will stop and shoot. Rebound off the hands of Parsons, but brought in by Butler.
Falcons asserting their dominance in the lane early. This is what the Falcons need to do for this entire second half.
Camille Parsons bumping into the defense that was presented by Melanie Walker. And now back with Rachel Pope against Butler with the right hand. Left the shot short, but drawing the counterattack. The first foul at halftime against the Falcons.
Butler tried to get there. She was half a step back. Tried to deny anyway. It might pay off for her. She misses these 2 free throws, but she was not in position there on that one.
Pope, a 54% free throw shooter, has no problem sinking the first. Edgewood now a perfect 7 for 7 from the charity stripe. Pope, first point of the ball game. And the rebound brought in by Hendrickson. The foul one against Butler, her second. So there's your first Edgewood free throw miss. A squad that came in 9th in the conference at about 65% collectively at the charity stripe. 31-26, 5-point lead for Edgewood with 45 seconds gone by in the second half. Katie Luthi. She'll stop pop. And the rebound tracked down by Chelsea Watkins. Now sometimes we talk about size being everything when it comes to rebounding. Not always about size, but about hustle.
It's very true, Matt.
Shot coming up short off the left hand by Tobin. Off the hands of Hendrickson. Will stay with Edgewood.
As we were talking about hustle, a good hustle by the Falcons there, but same team, miscommunication there. Only need one player to grab the ball.
And the ball knocked away. That was last touch by Butler. Just did get a hand in there to knock it away from Hill off the inbound attempt from Watkins.
You have to love how Concordia is denying almost everything early here, right out of the gate in the second half.
1 second ticking off the shot clock, game clock. Inbound to Pope. Hendrickson on Pope defensively, as mentioned, to start this second half. Parsons again back out there on Walker. That was an issue early, but Camille Parsons looking to try to match Walker, who's able to score nonetheless. A tough matchup, as we've mentioned throughout, and Walker in double figures. She has 10 points. Falcons, thanks to Brittany Zelo, able to quickly respond. That's her first field goal make. She has 4 points. Stays a 5-point deficit at 33-28. 1:45 gone by here in the second half. Look at Hill with the drive. Going airborne. Lost it. Going airborne against Butler now. Zelo against the double team. Pulls it up for grabs. Luthi comes back after the pass. Luthi will send it ahead to Butler. Butler looking to take it strong. Draws the bump, and the foul is going to be whistled against Tobin. She will pick up her second and the first Edgewood team foul here in the second half.
Both these teams playing very physical defense. You got to give credit for Concordia for getting that pick and passing through what was a very aggressive defense on Edgewood's part.
First free throw good for Butler. Now 2 for 3 in the ball game. Falcons collectively at 10 of 11. They came in fourth in the conference at free throw shooting at about 70%. They make about 11. They attempt about 16 a ball game. Iwanaki in both, and Anna Butler has 5 points. Falcons are back to within 3 at 33-30 after being down by as many as 10 in the first half. 17:55 to go. Game has featured 3 ties and 4 lead changes. On the drive by Watkins. Coming up short. Zelo got a hand on it, but it was last touched by Watkins.
Once again, you have to give Brittany Zelo credit for standing 5'4". She's not afraid to play in the post when the situation calls for it, and she knows how to get to the rim as well.
Coach Plazinski not happy with that call, and I think she had a point. Looked like Z got a hand in there, and where Coach was standing was right at the end of that baseline, right at the end of the team bench. She had a pretty good shot at that ball being tipped out. Either way, it will stay with the Falcons, and Zelo misfiring on the 3. The push now with Walker. Will slow it down to let some of her teammates run it, but instead, a pass to the bucket opens up, and as she went to turn and cut back in, ball was knocked out by Camille Parsons.
Falcons, as I said before, first 2.5 minutes of this second half have been denying absolutely everything. They haven't been perfect, of course, here, but still, they are contesting absolutely every pass and every take to the basket. They're trying to get a hand on it.
Among the changes here, Jenna Coonan back in for Edgewood with 17:25 to go. It remains a 33-30 Edgewood lead. Off the Eagles inbound with 23 on the shot clock. Hill goes back to Walker. 3 ball, count it. With Luthi in her face, a 3 ball for Walker gives her 13.
Melanie Walker having a great game here. She's going to be a contributor, I believe, all the way down to the wire here, Matt.
This is her 5th double-figure scoring performance. She has now scored 25 points in 2 games against the Falcons. 36-30 Edgewood. Long 2, splashing in for Butler with 16:55 to go.
I really like the way the Falcons passed the ball in there, Matt. They took a little risk here, but they passed it strong and were very, very confident, and they looked for the open person and looked for the good shot.
Well, Butler had all day to shoot it. Had time to set that shot and let it fly. Shot coming up short for Novitsky. Out of bounds will stay with Edgewood with a fresh shot clock. 16:39 to go here in the second half. Camille Parsons will sub back into the Concordia lineup and replace Katie Luthi. Inbound goes to Walker. Faked on the pass, turns and scores. How about that? Faked the kick out to Hill, spun and threw it up and down. It falls. Walker, everything she touches, finds the bucket. She has 15. has scored 7 already here in this second half. That is 3:40 old. 3-ball counted. Palukniak knocking down the triple. That's her second 3 of the game. Falcons stay within 3 at 38-35. 4 minutes gone by second half.
Falcons matching Edgewood blow for blow here, Matt. So far, the scoring in this half has been just about even. Concordia, I believe, has a 1-point advantage, outscoring them 9-8.
Little up and under. How about Walker? She has been the offense. She has scored all but 1 Edgewood point out of halftime thus far.
Like I said, that when you're high, you're hot, and she is on fire tonight.
40-35, Edgewood up 5. Camille Parsons for 3. And the rebound was knocked out. Did it graze Coonan? It did. After she was battling with Nowitzki. I checked that with Jenna Coonan. The 2 Coonans again didn't tangle up. A announcer's nightmare.
And if, make it a little easier, though, that's been a very good competition between both Coonans.
While bringing the ball up is Kelsey Collins. Pope against Butler. Shot clock already inside of 20. We have seen Edgewood numerous times patient on their offensive scheme, in which they've seen that shot clock work well within 10. 13th player to play for Edgewood now as the shot coming up short for Coonan. Putback foul drawn by Nowitzki, but Darion Henderson out of Madison Memorial in for the first time. She sports jersey 50, low block near side. 13th different Eagle to play in this ball game. As Butler picks up her 3rd, team foul number 2 at the line is Allison Nowitzki, a 60% free throw shooter. Clunks the first. Edgewood now 7 of 9 from the free throw line, including 1 for 3 in this second half. Palukniak, Coonan, Hendrickson, Luthi, and Parsons, the 5 out there for Coach Brunner Jones.
So Coach Brunner Jones is going to try to put her bigs in there to see a little tighter defense there on the lane.
But another rebound that popped away from Palukniak after the 2 free throw misses. Edgewood back up 9 in the rebounding category, 29-20. Shot clock down to 12. Long 2-ball. Short for Nowitzki. Rebound this time handled by Palukniak, but then pickpocketed in the jump ball. Arrow Falcons. Palukniak got tangled up. Kelsey Collins with the quick hands.
One thing to say about Edgewood, they're giving up. They're not getting as many offensive rebounds this time around, but they are preying on Concordia by pickpocketing them as soon as they come down with it. In the end, it's the same thing.
To sum it all up, they're being aggressive. They are the aggressor. 14:35 to go here in the second half. A 5-point Edgewood lead at 40-35. Brittany Zietlow. Into the game now is Haley Peppers for the Falcons for the first time. Luthi on the turn. And the rebound is brought in by Allison Nowitzki. After each team was trading off buckets, now both teams have had their woes from the field last couple of possessions. Nowitzki off the back rim, rebound, Peppers. Falcon push to Zietlow. Going to take it strong, and 1 for Brittany Zietlow.
Brittany Zietlow is one of those players where you see her and you think, well, she just must be the point guard, but no, she knows how to attack the basket. She is not afraid of facing a player 6 inches bigger than her, and she is not the player you want to get the N1 because she will make you pay for it.
Walker and Tobin each back into the Edgewood lineup. The foul went against Nowitzki, picking up her second personal. Team foul 2. With the free throws, Z now with 7 points. Falcons within 2. 40-38 Edgewood with 14 minutes left in the ball game. And a double dribble. So the Falcons will take over, down 40-38 off the 8th Edgewood turnover. Both teams have 8 turnovers. Brittany Zietlow will bring it up. picked up on by Rachel Pope. Zietlow to the bucket. Tie game. Fourth tie of the game. This time at 40, Falcons able to battle back from down 10.
The Falcons have become the aggressor now, Matt. Brittany Zietlow giving the Falcons a much-needed shot in the arm.
Well, not the entire team. Certainly Zietlow has been that aggressor. And a timeout being taken by the Eagles. Now some pressure defense. Momentum right now swaying the Falcon direction. This is a full timeout with 13:28 to be played. Tied at 40. Falcons were down by 10 with 4:32 left in the first half. Have now brought the game back to even. Tie number 4 on this Wednesday night. Falcons able to come out here in this second half. They have put up 14. They've allowed 10. Right now, Edgewood needs somebody else to step up outside of just Melanie Walker, who for a while was able to carry the team out of halftime, but she has scored 9 of the team's 10 points in this second half. All of a sudden, Walker has been a focal point of the defense, and now waiting for somebody else to emerge.
That's very true, man. Melanie Walker proved having an excellent game here, but you can't carry one team by yourself here. One thing Concordia is doing very well now is keeping everyone else neutralized. Because Melanie Walker can't do it herself, and now Brittany Zietlow showing some heart and determination on the offensive end, pulling Concordia right up even, and now Edgewood is starting to show some disorganization on their offensive end.
Well, with 13:28 to go here in the second half, tied at 40. Zietlow, Peppers, Hendrickson, Coonan, Luthi, the 5 out there. As the inbound goes to Pope. Hill, along with Walker, with the basketball right now is Tobin. And Watkins, the 5 out there. Shot clock down to 4. Rimming out for Watkins. Rebound controlled by Luthi.
Concordia rebounding a little bit better here. They're also protecting the ball on the rebound here a lot better.
Peppers going inside, but it skips on by. Trying to bounce past it to Megan Coonan.
Slight miscommunication there, Matt. Peppers thought Coonan was cutting. Coonan thought she was trying to go for a position.
And instead, the Falcons give it up for a ninth turnover. That being their second though here in the second half. That has seen a good 7:15 tick off. Pope with the right hand, and Edgewood back in front, 42-40. Rachel Pope, her first field goal makes. She has 3 points all here in the second half. Zietlow, Coonan. Luthi makes the catch despite the fact the pass did it for Coonan. It deflected off her hand. Luthi was cutting, catching, scoring, and tying the game at 42. 5th tie now in the contest.
Luthi saw that play, saw that it was going to be broken up, and she saved that play right there, Matt. Good court awareness by Katie Luthi.
Pope the spacing, the 3 ball. And the rebound tipped, brought in by Peppers. Back to the way comes Zietlow. Brittany Zietlow passing to Luthi. And now her pass deflected. Walker able to volleyball pass it over to Hill. 3-on-2 for Edgewood. Watkins will take it herself. Guilty of the offensive foul. Taking the charge is Brittany Zietlow.
Brittany Zietlow perfectly planted herself. And in just the right second there, Matt. Half a step more, she would have been in the wrong there, but she did a textbook taking the charge right there.
Butler and Parsons each back into the Falcon lineup. The foul against Watkins, her first, and team foul 3. Down to 11:50 left in the ball game, tied at 42. Zietlow going to take it baseline, has the path, and then Pope knocks it away. Pope, slow it down for the Eagles. Walker and Pope have been the only 2 to score in this second half for Edgewood. Pope off the mark on the 3. Parsons can't bring the rebound in.
A lot of physical play in that play, Matt. A lot of the Falcons wondering why there weren't some offensive fouls called. There may have been 1 or 2 in there, but refs are letting them play down the stretch. You got to tough it out.
What has to be frustrating, though, if you're Coach Brunner Jones, is your players are getting their hands on these rebounds. They're just not bringing them in.
That has been a weak spot for Concordia so far. They're doing a little bit better, but they need to protect the ball a lot better.
On the misfire by Kelsey Collins. Palukniak against the double team. Luthi. And now Luthi going right back to Butler. Her pass batted away and a steal by Walker. It's batted away by Hill into the hands of Walker, allowing the defense to retreat down court. Now Walker looking to take it herself. She will, and finish. Melanie Walker have a night. She has 19 points.
We said before, Melanie Walker can't carry this team by herself. Apparently that message didn't come to her.
And now another steal. It's for Tobin. 3 consecutive possessions. The Falcons have turned it over. And now 12 times in the ball game. 44-42 Edgewood. And an offensive foul away from the ball. That's going to go against Kelsey Collins. Her first. And team foul 4. Didn't see what Collins did at first, but Ron Quirk was quick with the whistle.
I believe it was a wiggle screen there, Matt. Edgewood's had to run a lot of screens here because the Falcons have tightened up their man-to-man to keep them out of the lane. But Edgewood is managing to get just open to keep themselves ahead by 2.
10:20 to go. Coonan back to Butler. Luthi up top. Launching a 3. Got it. Falcons up by 1.
Katie Luthi, a very confident shooter from any point on the floor there, Matt. And she exuded confidence on that tray right there.
5th lead change of the ball game, but the first since the first half. Edgewood was up by as many as 10 in that first half as the lefty missed by Hill out of bounds. Falcon ball. 9:57 to go. Game on inside the John Book Fieldhouse. 45-44. Falcons in front. Watkins, Anderson each in. They apparently also called a foul against Tobin on that last exchange where the ball was knocked out. May have been a push. Tobin will pick up her 3rd. That's the 15th foul.
Edgewood showing press now here. This is going to get interesting with who's going to win the speed battle now.
Camille Parsons able to win the race on the outside. And now we're going to take it baseline. Gets around Anderson, gets around as well. The defense there of Coonan, and Parsons is able to finish on the reversal.
Camille Parsons, a proven scorer. They thought just by getting in her way that'd be enough, but she went right around them and pulled a very sweet move on the baseline.
Falcons up by 3. This time their biggest lead of the contest that was first accomplished at the 14-14 mark in the first half. Parsons on the dive with the hustle, asking for the timeout. Granted the timeout. 9:25 left in the ball game. 47-44 Falcons. Now some of these loose balls, 50-50 balls. Falcons making that extra effort, diving after, screeching across the floor, and in this case, getting the timeout.
It's very true, Matt. Falcons were losing the loose ball battle there earlier in this half, but they have come back. They are contesting absolutely everything. They're getting a hand on every ball. It's cost them only 2 fouls here. I was surprised because they fouled early, but every single possession, if they can get a hand on the ball, be it a shot or a pass, they've gotten a hand on it, and it's starting to mess up Edgewood's rhythm. Edgewood came into this half with all the rhythm on their side, all the momentum, thanks to Melanie Walker, but now Edgewood's having trouble finding its step.
Falcons were shooting 31% at halftime. That's up now to 41% for the ball game. The Eagles were shooting about 36% from the field. They've dipped down to about 34. Still +6 in rebounding are the Eagles, but the Falcons in turnovers +1 at 12-11. Falcon ball up 3, 47-44, 9:15 to go. Camille Parsons, battle atop the Northern Athletics Conference North Division. Luthi, rebound, Coonan, drawing the foul after she was being flanked by a couple of black jerseys, somehow brought the board in.
And Megan Coonan, one of the things about her, one of the things she adds to the front line of these Falcons, Matt, is her strength. She's a very, very strong player.
Watkins guilty of her second. That's team foul 6. 6-2 Edgewood in that category. This is a squad that they commit about 19 fouls a game. Only one other team commits more in the entire conference. Shot clock down to 15. Kick out to Zietlow. Shot clock down to 7. Pass knocked away. It was knocked away by Anderson and then recovered by Henderson.
Edgewood has been double teaming Brittany Zietlow where they can on a trap there, Matt. They're trying to wear her down.
And now Watkins. Henderson trying to post up inside, got tangled up with Luthi. No option there, although now that option develops after Nowitzki went that direction, although Henderson, again being pestered. Ball will stay with Edgewood. 8 on the shot clock, and getting ready to sub in is McBain, replacing Henderson.
There was Megan Coonan again. Luthi got beat there just by a second, but Coonan was there to play help defense in the middle of the lane. Once again, Falcons contesting everything.
Off the inbound. No inbound pressure now. Butler comes over to try to, again, contest that inbound. That gets the direction of Anderson. Shot clock down to 3. That was swatted out by Butler. Pass intended for Chelsea. Watkins, shot clock down to 3 with 8:07 left here in the second half at a 47-44 Falcon lead.
Nice hustle there by Butler. That leaves Edgewood in the awkward position, having 3 seconds to catch and shoot situation. They don't want the turnover.
Got time to at least dribble once, if not twice. The inbound, though, and a hold. That's exactly what you did not want if you're Coach Brunner Jones. She had just finished yelling out to the team, hey, play smart. There's 3 seconds on the shot clock, and instead you bail the Eagles out on the tug of the jersey. Coonan picking up her second. Team foul 3. That's one of those that will give a coach a nightmare for days to come, as Edgewood will maintain possession with 29 seconds on the shot clock. Just no need for that.
Very true. Coonan knocked that out of bounds there. She's playing very aggressive, but she is making a few freshman mistakes here.
Miss on the left-hander by McBain. And the Falcons, again, will look to slow it down. Hasn't been the prettiest of games. Right now, the Falcons up 47-44 with 7:53 to go. Hendrickson. And now Coonan over to Palukniak on the drive. Rebound brought in by Nowitzki on the Edgewood push. A 3-on-3. Nowitzki on the behind the back. And now Watkins going inside. McBain. Great aggressive move. She took one enormous step, had that spacing against Luthi, and finished strong.
Luthi was trying to draw a charge there, but she got fooled. That was an excellent move there.
And then a fine defensive stance in their end by Coonan. Ball trapped in the corner. Nowitzki and Edgewood able to call a timeout. It's granted. And again, they will have a new lineup change when play resumes. 5 new faces about to sub back in with 7:17 to go. It's now 47-46. Falcons up by a point following the Brooke McBain field goal. As for the ball game, right now the Falcons shooting 38% from the field. Edgewood at about 35%. And from our account, timeouts. Still a couple remaining for Edgewood. Same thing on the Falcon end. Foul situation as we speak, as we start to get later in the ball game. 6-3 plus 3 are the Eagles, and if a jump ball occurs at this juncture, arrow pointing in favor of Edgewood. Got a back and forth second half battle after Edgewood, for a good majority of that first half, played with the lead. And up by as many as 10 points. At halftime, Edgewood found themselves up 30-26.
Falcons here, as I mentioned before here, are playing a solid defense here, contesting everything. It's gotten them trouble here, but for the most part, you have to give the Falcons credit the way they're trying to deny the basketball. Edgewood had way too many opportunities in the first half. Here they haven't had as many. They may do with what they had, but they have not had the control they had in the first half.
Dixon knocking down the long deuce. Right out of halftime. Or right out of the timeout, that is. Danielle Dixon knocking down the long field goal. Her first point since halftime. She has 6. It is 48-47. Edgewood back in front now by 1. 6:50 to go. Butler to the bucket. Foul by Hill. That's 4 on Hill.
Excellent move there by Butler. Hill a little too aggressive on the block there. Could have gone straight up, but Butler had a step on her. That was an excellent move.
So Butler back to the free throw line. We're already in this contest. She has 3 of now 5 with that miss. Nowitzki into the Edgewood lineup, replacing the foul-troubled Hill. off the 17th foul, so a bonus from here on out. Second free throw falls for Butler. It ties the game at 48. Third tie of the second half, sixth of the ball game.
Both these teams have a lot to play for here, Matt. Is everything we thought it would be between two potential first-place teams.
Tied at 48 with 6.5 to go. Falcons have won 4 straight over Edgewood, including 15 in the last 18. And a neck-and-neck battle after winning by 13 at the Edge Dome back in December. Shot clock down to 5. Pope throws it up, number 5 with 5 on the shot clock, able to give Edgewood a 50-48 advantage.
Pope once again proving how fast she is, getting around Luthi. Didn't even have to go baseline, just had that extra step.
She now has 5 points, all here in the second half. Coonan. Luthi, step back, 3-ball waved off. Traveling violation on Luthi. Knocked down the triple after a blatant travel. She took a couple of steps to scoot back to make sure she would be on that 3-point line, no doubt about it. It was good when she launched it, but again, took that extra little hop, skip, and a bunny bounce to get that 3-point shot off.
Shame what she probably could have made it from that distance if you didn't take the extra steps, Matt. That was a clear shot right to the rim.
5:48 to go. 50-48, Edgewood by 2. Ball knocked away and taken away by Zietlow. Now trapped in a tie-up arrow, Edgewood. Camille Parsons back into the Falcon lineup, replacing Coonan. That's been a hard basketball to bring in for either team. It seems like every time somebody gets a hand on it, it's a hard ball to corral in, more so for the Falcons, and we've seen that ball rolling every which direction.
A lot of foreburns in this game, Matt.
And a nice lefty by Tobin. She has been limited here tonight, but there's her 5th and 6 points for the reigning all-conference honorable mention from that of a year ago. 4-point Edgewood lead, 52-48. Zietlow, no, but a foul with 5:21 to go. That's team foul 8, so more free throws coming.
You have to love how Zietlow is perhaps the master of the left-handed layup and drawing the foul on the left-handed layup. That's like her favorite spot to attack inside the three-point arc.
Tobin picks up her 4th. And Zietlow with the free throw. She has 10 points. She has now scored in double figures 6 times this season, including 3 times over the last 4 ball games. You can hear a pin drop here inside the John Book Fieldhouse as she let that second one fly. 11 points for Zietlow, keeping the Falcons within 2 at 52-50. 5:15 to go. Walker against Camille Parsons. Dixon on the turnaround. Rebound brought in. Good aggressive rebound by Butler. Ripped it down, brought it in, and now Zietlow to Parsons. Bumping bodies in the foul against Walker. Melanie Walker will pick up her first. Team foul 9. More free throws. A 1-and-1 coming up for Camille Parsons.
Edgewood's got to be careful in this situation. Zietlow and Parsons are going to attack the rim, and every time they do, they get fouled. They will be shooting, whether they go up or not.
So again, you have Parsons, who came in 65% from the free throw line. So far in this contest, Camille Parsons finding herself 4 for 4. 5 for 5. Just over 21 minutes of action already for Parsons. That's 7 points. This to tie the game for the 4th time here in the half. 7th time overall. 52-52, inside of 5 minutes left in regulation. Watkins, McBain. With the right hand, Brooke McBain has come on and scored 4 points here in the second half. 54-52 Edgewood. 4.5 to go. Camille Parsons slips. Ball rolls out. Edgewood possession. Camille Parsons slipped. Ball rolling out, and a turnover against the Falcons, their 16th of the ball game. That is now, when you go back to the first meeting, the 39th time they've coughed the ball up against this Edgewood defense.
Both these defenses playing very aggressive on both sides here. Edgewood hasn't had this much success this half, but you cannot deny their aggressivity. A good steal there by Polukniak.
We're going to take it the other way with the right hand, missed it, put back, banks in, Anna Butler tying the game at 54.
Allison Polukniak took it right out of her hands.
Butler, who's coming off a season high 11 points on Saturday, has followed that performance up with 10 here today. 3:55 to go. Watkins on the drive. Walker knocked it out of bounds.
We're entering the realm where every possession here counts, Matt. Both defenses being as stingy as possible and contesting everything, but you have to give Concordia credit. Their aggressivity has really pounded them back into this game and shifted the momentum more toward their side. Still anyone's basketball game, though.
Tied at 54, of course, with 3:40 to go. Butler, handoff goes to Zietlow. Shot clock at 14. Pass goes to Luthi. 3 ball. And the rebound brought in by Watkins. Picked up on by Butler with 3:20 to go. 7th tie of the ball game right now at 54. Pope. Collins open. 3 ball. Luthi over the back. Had a hand on the rebound, but it deflects to Collins. Throws it back up and draws the fouls. Team foul 4 against the Falcons. In the act of shooting. 2 free throws coming up for Kelsey Collins.
I'm surprised they called the foul then. There was a lot of contact going on that play. You could have blown the whistle at any point during those last 3 seconds of competition.
Collins, a 91% free throw shooter at 10 for 11. A rare miss off the back iron. Overall, a rare miss for Edgewood. Although in the second half, overall the team is 7 of 11, but in the second half, Edgewood 1 for 5. Timeout here for the Falcons. 3 minutes, 6 seconds to go. We are tied at 54 between the Eagles and the Falcons inside the John Book Fieldhouse, the first of a 3-game homestand for Concordia. These are 2 out of the 3 teams tied atop the Northern Athletics Conference North Division standings with the Idle Alverno College Inferno. Able to pick up a victory, their 8th in conference play last night over the Lakeland College Muskies. Well, you mentioned this one has lived up to the hype coming in, although when this one's all said and done, there's still 7 conference games left. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves with the importance of this game, but it is still important in taking that next step.
Well, yes, Matt, the importance of this game here is more of a morale booster for whoever wins the game here. If the Falcons win, knowing that they bumped off one of their main competition here is an excellent morale booster to give you a little extra motivation for the final 7 conference games coming up, knowing you beat somebody who had you matched for record and was your primary competitor.
Falcons trying to sweep the season series again this year. Edgewood trying to snap that 4-game skid. The Falcons, and again, 3:06 to go.
You have to love how both these teams are playing like they're defending winning streaks here. Both these teams playing exceptionally hard. They've had their ups, they have their downs. But that's what happens when 2 teams of this caliber butt up against each other.
After a rare free throw miss, only the 2nd in 12 tries this season for Kelsey Collins. One more coming up, and she's able to bounce back. 4 points for the Richland Center product. Breaking the tie, it's 55-54 Edgewood with 3 minutes left in the ball game. Anna Butler against Hill, back out there playing with 4. Same thing for Tobin. Polukniak to Butler. Shot clock at 14. Zietlow against the double team, now getting around 1. Dumps it off. Coonan can't finish next to the hoop. A nice feed from Zietlow. Coach Bernard Jones trying to say, hey, wait a minute, that was last touch by Hill, to no avail. Ron Quirk was on the baseline, points the Edgewood direction.
There have been a lot of coach reaction shots in this game, Matt. I think at least both head coaches have had 2 major reaction shots this game.
And both had a right to be upset. And now with Nowitzki, guilty of the offensive foul. So Nowitzki will pick up what is going to be her 3rd personal foul, 10th team foul, 2:25 to go, 55-54 Edgewood.
Corey needs to attack the basket here, man. They need to get to the free throw line. They're going to make a difference in this game.
That's what Zietlow does. Free throw bound. With 2:19 to go, down a point.
Edgewood has yet to find an answer to Brittany Zietlow's attack from the left side. That has been her favorite place to attack here today. Going down there, she's either been fouled or she has gotten her 2 points. Edgewood has yet to find an answer for Brittany Zietlow's left-handed layup.
And Edgewood's leading scorer, leading rebounder, Allison Tobin, disqualified from the game. She picks up number 5. Zietlow 5 of 5 from the free throw line. And she clunks the first one, no good. Best she can do is tie. Dixon in, out goes Nowitzki. 2:19 left in regulation, 55-54 Edgewood. Zietlow ties the game with her 12 points.
Momentum slightly in Concordia's favor here, Matt, but now the momentum will shift with every possession. Every score, every stop is going to shift it just that much more toward the team's favor. Walker lost it. Out of bounds Falcon ball. Simply lost it going up. It slid out of her hands with 2:07 to go, tied at 55. Excellent defense by Katie Luthier here, but that was just a sloppy possession right there.
Brittany Zietlow will bring it up against Chelsea Watkins. Coonan back to Zietlow. And now Luthi. Polukniak with the shot clock inside of 10. Down to 7. Zietlow down to 4. Zietlow, foul against Dixon. Polukniak the shooting plus the double bonus, and so Dixon will pick up the personal. That's going to be her first. Zietlow with the shot clock winding down, goes back to the free throw line.
Brittany Zietlow showing she can do it with her right hand too, but she's doing exactly what she's needing to do. She's attacking the basket. She can't get the layup. She'll get her 2 free throws.
.13 for Brittany Zietlow. Missed the second, and the rebound is brought in by McBain. 56-55. 1 point Falcon lead with 90 seconds to play. Watkins. Put back Walker. Walker gets the bounce. She has 21. Edgewood up by 1. 57-56, 1:12 to go. Here comes Zietlow. Knocked away from behind, and a steal by Hill. 2-on-1 for the Eagles. Hill throws it up, no, but draws the foul. Turnover number 17 against the Falcons. Free throws coming up with 67 seconds to go, and a 1 point Edgewood advantage.
Those are lapses that do not need to happen at this juncture, Matt. I don't know where the rebounding was in the previous possession, but losing the ball right there on the opposite side is not what needs to happen right now.
And the first free throw missed by Hill, a 63.2% free throw shooter. Foul against Polukniak, her second, 15 foul. This to make it a 2 point ball game. Rebound, Polukniak. It stays a 1 point Edgewood lead at 57-56. 1 minute left in the ball game. A battle for some separation of a game atop the North Division standings. Polukniak on the kick out. Zietlow. A foul against Dixon. Dixon picking up number 2. Back to the free throw line goes Zietlow.
That play seemed almost designed, Matt, to get Zietlow to the free throw line.
And the game is tied now at 57. And the Falcons go up by 1.
You gotta love Brittany Zietlow's focus on those free throws. You could have done anything in front of her, she still would have made those.
45 seconds to go, 58-57, Falcons by a point. Watkins nearly walked with the basketball, now down she goes for the travel. 16 turnovers against the Eagles, 17 against the Falcons. Timeout Concordia. This is a full timeout, Falcon basketball. They're up 58-57 with 35.2 seconds to go, so a 5.2 second differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
And the Falcons there, their defense has been impeccable these last 3 or 4 minutes, Matt, here. Not only they contested everything, they have forced Edgewood to make some pretty silly mistakes here on that last play. She nearly carried the ball, and then she just falls down and travels. Concordia's defense and willingness to play a little more aggressive has really switched this game around.
Edgewood came out up by as many as 10 points in the first half, led 30-26 at halftime. These two teams, though, going back and forth. The first tie of the second half came at 40-40. It has been neck and neck ever since, and right now the Falcons enjoying a 58-57 lead with possession and 35.2 seconds left in the ball game.
And Concordia here has a very tricky situation, 5.2 second differential between shot clock and game clock. They have the ball, they have every right to wait for it. Do you send Brittany Zietlow to the hoop early to try to draw the foul?
According to our stat monitor, the Falcons have 3 timeouts left, Edgewood with 2. Right now, a super bonus if the Falcons do get fouled. Falcons have a foul to give. They've had 5 fouls work against them. If a jump ball occurs, arrow pointing in favor of Concordia.
Still a very tricky situation here, Matt. There's no room for error at this point in the juncture.
Polukniak on the inbound. Zietlow catching it, a hair inbounds, and then a foul against Walker. Z taking a shot. She's going to be free throw bound after she takes a second to collect herself. Walker picking up the personal. That's going to be her second. And so Zietlow will go back to the free throw line. It seems like every time the Falcons go to the free throw line, Zietlow is the Falcon to go to that line. She's 9 for 11 in the ball game.
I'm a little shocked they fouled that early there, Matt. And of all the players to foul, Brittany Zietlow, whose free throw shooting has been spot on tonight.
But after maybe getting poked in the eye, she may not be seeing 20-20. What is a 1-point Falcon lead? Points for Z. 14 have come here in the second half. Hill is back in. Dixon back in. Going to make it a 3-point game with 32 seconds left. So a 2-second differential, game clock, shot clock. 59-57, Falcons by 2. And the rebound brought in by Walker. Walker on the push. Walker, timeout Edgewood. They have 1 remaining. 25.2 seconds to go. 59-57. Falcons by a couple.
Once again, Brittany Zietlow pushing the Falcons a little more toward where they need to be, giving the momentum just a little bit more here. Edgewood has a chance here, but they've been really sloppy on the offensive end these last 2 minutes. It's one of those, once again, there's no room, the margin for error is getting smaller and smaller with each passing second.
Overall, shooting 38% from the field. Edgewood is up since halftime. Falcons shooting 37% from the field. Do you go with Walker? That's where your bread's been buttered this second half. She has scored 21 points, 13 here in the second half of play. Rachel Pope the other, but I'm not sure Pope is going to be out there, it appears. But Walker has been your threat in attacking the bucket, assuming you go for the 2-point field goal as opposed to trying to steal a win on the road by launching to 3, although when it comes to 3-point shooting, Edgewood 3 for 12, Falcons 3 of 9.
It's a very tricky situation for Edgewood.
And remember,
Edgewood has been trying to run cutters all night. It worked. It's what gave them the lead in the very first place. So Concordia is going to have to defend everyone slashing to the basket with as much efficiency as possible.
And remember, from an average standpoint, your top scorer and rebounder, Allison Tobin, disqualified from the game, picking up her 5th personal foul. Inbound here with one timeout. A couple of timeouts remaining for Edgewood here for Watkins. In it goes to Hill. Hill on the drive to the bucket with the left hand. Missed the shot. Crash of the boards. Jump ball. Arrow to the Falcons. Shot clock turned off. 15.3 seconds left in the ball game. Falcons up by 2. They have to inbound, but first a timeout. So we'll come down to free throw making. 59-57. Falcons up by 2. Off the drive, it was Hill. Too strong off the backboard. And on the crash of the boards, a tie-up with the arrow pointing in favor of the Falcons. And a game that has seen Edgewood plus 7 in rebounding at 40-33, including 13-4 on the offensive glass.
It's very true, Matt, here. Edgewood has gotten plenty of second opportunities here, but Concordia's willingness to contest everything, getting a hand on every shot, and just general toughness and spoiling has really set Edgewood back here, and that was exactly what the Falcons needed to do here on the missed basket, was rebound hard, contest the jump ball. They got the jump ball in their favor, and now they have just had to hold on here and go to the line one more time, it looks like, to put this one away.
You look at the series between these two teams over the last 6-7 years, this has been typical of Concordia Edgewood. Not what happened on December 4th where a team won by 13, but these close ball games down to 1, 2, 3 possessions. That had been for a while all that you got when Edgewood and Concordia hooked up, and that's what these two teams are producing again here tonight. Falcons have to get it in, and then it's going to come down to making some free throws with 15.3 seconds to go. Inbound, Polukniak. No inbound pressure. You have the extra defender. Polukniak trying to get it in, and before she could do so, a foul away from the ball. This foul against Nowitzki. She picks up number 4. Guess who's going back to the free throw line?
You got to admire Brittany Zietlow's toughness. She has been fouled more times than I can care to remember this game. And she just goes to the free throw line and gets it done.
10 for 13 from the free throw line is Z. Three-point Falcon lead. Z with 17. Hill back in. Dixon back in. 60-57 Falcons. 15.3 seconds to go. For Edgewood with that quickness, have to quickly get down court regardless of what happens here. But even more so if she makes it, which she does, to make it a 2-possession lead. 61-57. Hill falling down, gets back up. We're down to 6 seconds of the ball game. Hill has to hurry. Awkward looking shot, but drawing the foul with 4.3 seconds to go. That took way too much time to develop.
It did, Matt. You have to give Concordia's defense credit. They saw the ball go to the corner. They tightened up the man-to-man and kept it there for an extra 3-4 seconds that Edgewood could not afford to give.
Polukniak picking up her 3rd. So Hill at the line. Her first down the way. Makes it a 3-point game. 8 points for Hill. That's her first point in the second half. Boy, she went ring around the defense and then some, and a good chunk of change ticking off that clock. Hill makes it a 2-point game, and again it comes down to inbounding and making free throws. 4.3 seconds to go. Getting some of your better free throw shooters in are the Falcons. Hendrickson trying to get open. Z does. Z gets away. Z then the tug of the jersey with 2.4 seconds left. Nearly got away, and I think the Falcons want an intentional foul. Will it be? Yes, it will be because of the tug of the jersey. If it wasn't for the tug of the jersey, no intentional foul, but
I understand the frustration. I'm sorry to say them a frustration there, Matt, but that is really a very silly foul to make at this juncture in the game. I mean, obviously.
No, she's just going for the foul, though. Well, she's just going for the foul.
You want to go for the foul, but you don't want to make it that obvious that you're trying to go for the foul. You want to make it seem at least you're going for the ball, at least a little bit.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that except for the fact she tugged the jersey. That's where the intentional foul comes as Zitlo misses the first free throw. She blew right by you. You reach out there trying to commit the foul.
Yeah, the tug of the jersey just was a dead giveaway.
She missed both, but the Falcons get the possession because of the foul.
And that tug of the jersey, Matt, was a dead killer. There's going to be fouls at this stage of the game, obviously, but you don't want to make it look that obvious.
But when she blows by, at that point, you're just reaching out to try to do anything you can to foul her.
You're screwing either way, really.
And Coonan fouled, but by that point, we're down to 0.8 seconds to go. So a good chunk of time again off the game clock upon the foul. I think Edgewood's asking if any time will be added or not, but it doesn't appear so. And so that's going to be the fifth, and disqualified from the game now is Hill. She will join Tobin with 5. Hill leaving with 9 points. Yeah, very limited what you can do here. 61-59, a 2-point lead for the Falcons. Megan Coonan with 9 points, her first since the first half. That's the icing on the cake. Watkins, Falcons are in first place with a 63-59 victory, 7 conference games to play.
Well, one thing you have to give to the Falcons here tonight, Matt, is they kept their heads level and cool for those final 4 minutes of competition. First half, they were a little disorganized. They had trouble keeping their cool earlier in the second half of those final 4 minutes. They were focused. They were calm. They did exactly what they had to do. They just went for the basket, and they played hard defense. They didn't get every stop, but they contested every ball, and they came back on the other end, and they took care of business on the offensive end.
Edgewood up by as many as 10. They're up 4 at halftime, yet the Falcons, they come out, they outscore Edgewood 37-29 in the second half to win the game 63-59, and in doing so, the Falcons win their 5th consecutive game. They improve to 11-5 overall, 9-2 in conference play, 3-2 inside the John Boog Fieldhouse. Edgewood's 5-game winning streak snapped. They suffer their first defeat since losing against UW-Stevens Point back on December 29th. They now drop their overall record to 9-9, 8-3 in league play, 5-5 away from the Edge Dome. The Falcons have now won 5 consecutive, 16 of the last 19 over the Edgewood College Eagles and sweep the regular season series with this final victory of 63-59. And again, free throw shooting enormous down the stretch. Overall, the Falcons 26 of 33 from the free throw line. Edgewood was 10 of 16, so the Falcons made 10 more free throws than Edgewood even attempted as a team, and Zitlo coming through down the stretch.
Yes, you have to give Brittany Zitlo credit. I mentioned the Falcons' focus, and Brittany Zitlo, as the focus of a laser, Matt, she attacked the basket relentlessly. She got the foul. She got to the free throw line. And I think you probably have an explosion in this field house, and she still would have made more than half her free throws. She was that focused.
18 points for Brittany Zitlo, also had 5 assists. 10 points, Megan Coonan back in double figures again. She's in double figures for a 3rd consecutive game. 5th time overall on the season. 8 points put in by Camille Parsons, 9 for Katie Luthi, 10 for Anna Butler, one off her career high of 11 that she just accomplished the other day. And then 6 points put in by Allison Palukniak. 2 points, Tiffany Hendrickson. She is now a total of 10 points away from scoring 1,000. As for Edgewood College, they get 21 points from Melanie Walker, 13 in the second half. 9 points, Mariah Hill disqualified from the game with 5 fouls. 6 points for Allison Tobin. She too is disqualified, the leading scorer for Edgewood, held in check. 4 points for Brooke McPain. Jenna Coonan had 2 points, a couple of free throw makes in the first half. 4 points as well put in by Chelsea Watkins. Check that, Kelsey Collins coming through as well. Collins coming in with 4 points. Give a total of 2 to Watkins. Let's see, also in the game, 6 points for Dixon, 5 as well for Pope, all coming in the second half of the game. That would see 10 ties, 9 lead changes. Falcons led by no more than 4. They win the game by that very margin. Edgewood was plus 8 in points of the paint. Concordia plus 2 in points off turnovers. Edgewood plus 5 in second chance scoring. Falcons plus 4 in fast break scoring. And both benches produced 16 points. Again, let's see both teams turn the ball over 17 times. Edgewood plus 7 in rebounding.
So, man, one thing I like to point out here is that the first half stats do not reflect Concordia's level of effort here. They had some hiccups here, but they improved from 30% shooting in the first half to 45% shooting in the second half to improve their shooting to 37% overall. They went 40% from behind the arc, 73% in the second half for free throws. I saw the free throw line a lot more. 23 free throws in this attempts in the second half, 17 made. That goes to show how intense the Falcons were in attacking the basket. And Edgewood did them favors by stacking up the fouls very early there in the second half, and the Falcons showed excellent poise from the free throw line. Brittany Zietlow in particular, Camille Parsons early on, and Megan Coonan showing excellent focus for the last 2 attempts at the end of the game.
As I mentioned, only one other team in the conference commits more fouls per game on average than Edgewood. Eagles look to bounce back on Saturday. They will battle the Wisconsin Lutheran College Warriors, first place over in the South Division, before next week with games at Alverno, at Dominican. As for the Falcons, their 3-game homestand continues. They get winless Dominican on Saturday before hosting MSOE on Tuesday. Saturday's game tips off at 2. Tuesday's game tips off at 7. Special thanks to all involved in the game broadcast. On behalf of Nate Kerner, Matt Mendel saying so long. Good night from the John Book Fieldhouse on the Concordia University campus in Mequon, Wisconsin. Again, the final score, it's the Concordia University Wisconsin Falcons 63, the Edgewood College Eagles 59. You've been watching continuing coverage of Falcon Athletics on the Concordia Sports Network.